Hi, this is Debbie Nicholson. I'm the Director of Community Outreach for Beat Cancer. And today I have a treat. We have Paul Schmittendorf, one of our holistic cancer coaches. And he's going to do a really neat demonstration today on how to sprout broccoli seeds. And there's very important reasons why we want to eat broccoli sprouts. And Paul's going to tell us all about that. So hi, Paul. Thank you so much for being here today.
All right, great to be here, Deborah. Before I even do the demonstration, I just want to talk quickly about the importance of broccoli sprouts, and it really brings up the whole category of cruciferous vegetables, some of the great powerhouses of cancer-fighting foods, so broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage, just to name a few of the best ones. But broccoli is really interesting because a mature broccoli stalk has a great deal of sulforaphane in it. Mm-hmm. And when we take in all these cruciferous, especially broccoli, we're putting sulforaphane into our system, and this has been shown to induce cancer cell death, also known as apoptosis. So taking the cruciferous vegetables into our system anyway is great, but broccoli sprouts take it to a whole other level. The research on broccoli sprouts has shown that the amount of sulforaphane developed in sprouts are 50 to 100 times greater than a mature stalk of broccoli, which is kind of mind-blowing. But
right, because you wouldn't actually be able to eat enough broccoli.
Yeah, you can
so this is kind of a shortcut.
It is a shortcut to getting more sulforaphane into your system. Of course, you can do both, and that's probably the best way to do it, is to eat the variety of the cruciferous vegetables, but then to use the sprouts in your salad or a topping for a sandwich or whatever you're eating. So it's really a simple process, and it's fun. If you had kids around, they like to get involved with it too.
And I know you can buy them, but they are kind of expensive. And then the shelf life can be questionable. So if you're doing them yourself, you know how long you've had them, they're growing fresh, it's not expensive then, and it's, it's organic, you get the right seeds, and it is very easy. So
yeah, it is wonderful that so many sprouts are actually available in health food stores or Whole Foods, or even some regular grocery stores will carry some sprouts. But this is a great way to do it less expensively, and you're in charge of the overall freshness of the operation. And then of course you can refrigerate once they're mature. Mm-hmm. So I've always enjoyed growing sprouts, and I've been doing it for many years.
Awesome.
So here's just a little close-up here is a bag of broccoli seeds that you can get online or at the health food store. And basically what we just want to do here is I'm starting off with a half cup roughly of broccoli seeds, which I'll pour into this jar here. And then I'm going to fill it up a little ways with water. Don't have to fill it up too far, but you basically want to set up your jar so that they're immersed in water and that they're going to soak for about 12 hours overnight, typically.
Okay, so maybe a half a cup with about a cup and a half of water, 2 cups maybe?
Yeah, whatever amount of water you want to do, just so that they're underwater and they're all soaking.
Any type of water?
I usually use happy with tap water. If you have filtered water at home, that's always better. The best quality water that you have available would be best, but tap water is going to work fine too.
Okay.
So after 12 hours of soaking, you want to do the first rinsing. So basically it's taking this, turning it upside down in the sink and just letting the water kind of go out into the sink, and then maybe doing another little rinse. We're filling it up again, and now we're to the point in the process where we are not soaking the seeds any longer, but just making sure that they're staying moist. And the jar can then be set up in a position at an angle like this, so that the water will filter out. And what we want to do is just be mindful of this. We can re-rinse and soak 2 or 3 times a day, and we want to store this somewhere fairly warm and fairly dark. Definitely not in direct sunlight. So
Okay.
somewhere in the kitchen, it could be under the sink, but just somewhere where it's not getting direct sunlight is the key
Okay.
factor. So we're going to continue this for several days, probably 3 or 4 days, and you'll start to see little sprouts growing on each of the seeds. And you have to kind of use your own judgment. At a certain point where they're getting pretty mature, we will then want to put them into indirect sunlight to kind of green them up. So I've got another jar here, which I've been working on. I started this last Wednesday. So this is day 5 of a jar of sprouts that I've been doing. And they're really coming in nicely. I had them by the window this morning for 3 or 4 hours. I would say they could use just a little more greening up, but I will probably consume some of these today and then continue to keep them in the jar while letting them green up a little bit more at the window with indirect sunlight. So you can really see just a half cup of seeds really puts together a nice quantity of broccoli sprouts right here. So this will last, probably a week in the fridge. So just use it sporadically, whatever meals I want to add it to, just a few sprouts here and there, just taking it into my system throughout the next week or so.
Yeah, I tend to just put them on everything. I just had a big container. I happened to buy that one. And I throw it on top of salads, eggs, rice, anything and everything, because it doesn't have a really strong taste.
Yeah.
So you can really put it on anything.
I agree. Yeah. You can be creative, people can be creative with whatever way they want to use the sprouts. And some people will just eat them straight. They'll just take a handful out of the jar and put them in their mouth and chew them and munch on them. And whatever way you can enjoy them and get them in your system is great.
Wonderful. Okay, so they're in the fridge about a week.
Yep. And that's the simplicity. It's a pretty simple process to go through, and there's a little trial and error for somebody who's doing this the first time, and you might run into a few little question marks. But there's also a lot of videos out there on YouTube, and you can kind of fine tune each time you do a batch of sprouts. You might put it in a different place, or you might leave it in the sun for a little bit longer. You might rinse it more or less times throughout the day. Again, it is very important to keep these sprouts moist. So you really can't afford to forget about them for 24 hours because they're going to dry out. So again, really keeping them moist throughout the 3 or 4 days will get them to start sprouting pretty quickly. And then by day 5, 6, or 7, you really have some beautiful mature sprouts.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for helping everyone get their dose of sulforaphane and getting their cruciferius in.
Yes.
Very, very potent anti-cancer. Have it with some onion, leek family, leeks, onions, scallions.
Yep.
With the cruciferius is a really 1-2 punch, and really great for your salad. Thank you so much, Paul.
All right. Thanks, Deborah. Great to be here.
Thanks. Bye-bye.